Welcome to another Field of Glory 2 battle. This is part of the Chaos Tourney hosted by Karvon on the Slitherine forums, so Pollock armies, filters off. This time, however, we did roll a matchup that is possible with filters on, Macedonian versus Illyrian. So the Illyrian army can get 8 light infantry, 4 light cavalry, and then an enormous mass of Thureofroi. So I'm not even going to try to fight his light infantry. I think it's pointless since we can only get 4 light infantry ourselves. I'll grab 2 light cavalry to kind of contest the flanks, along with my 2 armored cavalry, 1 veteran, 1 standard. Then I've maxed out on medium foot because there is a fair amount of rough ground here. Thureofroi, Thracians, and Thorakitai, which are just armored Thureofroi. And then I've gotten a number of hard-hitting infantry units. Any of these units can roll over any one unit of Thureofroi. The problem is Thureos are cheap, 42 a pop, less than half the cost of a single veteran pike phalanx. So difficulty will be not getting outflanked. I need to try to smash through and win before getting surrounded. What do we got? Just a giant pile of Thureofroi. Okay, well, we have our single skirmisher. We will shift out with our rather pitiful cavalry. And then it's forward we go. We need to try to push into contact before we get surrounded by a greater number of units. Next turn. Great. Well, keep it simple then. We can only hope that he stays in this formation. We can just slam into it. If he spreads out into a line and envelops us, we're going to have problems. Next turn. Yeah, I mean, obviously our 1 skirmisher is just screwed. Now he's falling back. Well, really, what choice do we have but to slowly trundle after him? Go here, charge the flank next turn. Okay, you charge. Maybe you'll catch them. No. Lovely. Onward then. Bit of rough could be annoying. Gonna have to just accept some casualties. Great. Next turn. That patch of rough is going to be unfortunate. We'll just have to find a way to work our way around. fine, they'll evade, and then we'll break one unit. Should help a little bit. Okay, let's push at an angle, sometimes at least then doing dumb things like that. Oh, dice. Okay, forward, take cover, and continue to push. I wish these mediums were over here. Oh well. Give it a shove and take out that unit. Maybe. Maybe. Okay. Yeah. No. Good. Now we need to figure out what to shift over. That's going to be open, so we'll shift that line in a bit. The maneuvering is going to be a little awkward. Okay, so we want more Thudiofroi there. And down. Very unfortunate. Maybe we shift another non-light unit over. Yeah, maybe get this warband over here slowly. We don't have a ton of time to mess around because of the light situation, but we can take it a little bit easier than we have been, I think. Yeah, here, this whole patch of rough is really unfortunate. What I might want to do is endure the fire and just try to work my way slowly around, but I could also draw back my right wing and shift over to the left and see if I can do a wrap that way. Again, it is difficult when I don't have light, so I have killed enough that it's not as dire as it was. Next turn, so if it keeps withdrawing into this terrain, I might need to rethink my entire approach here. If he stays like that, that might be isolated enough that I can engage it with my own mediums and then flank it. Good. Maybe we'll hit them too. Now, in the meantime, we can shove them off a bit, unfortunately. No one to take advantage of that nearby. Good. We'll need you to engage those skirmishers once you rally up. And shift more mediums in to engage that ground. Shove them off. Want to general up on the mediums going forward here. It's worth a try. We're still outside of getting zoned from terrain, at least for a little while longer. Shift around. Go for a catch. Good. The more skirmishers we can eliminate, the more freedom of action we'll have. So the skirmish threat is greatly reduced on this side. Alright. So I think what we might have to do soon is halt our charges on his lights and bring up our own, hopefully rally lights to engage them, or at least absorb ammunition. Frontally engage here, threaten flank so that he has to come into open terrain to fight us, and then charge. bit dodgy. We could push him back into rough ground and be disordered ourselves, which would not be ideal. Next turn. No catch. Too bad. Yep, occupying the built-up areas of the massive square of rough here. Gonna have to be careful not to get locked into a bad approach. Yeah, he's shifting this whole bunch around to form a second line. That could get very awkward. Okay. You start shifting to get around this flank. You keep that light javelin horse off of us. You try for a charge. Great. Thanks. Now they evaded because of the nearby threat of the veteran armored cavalry. Okay. Extend the line. Good. Inch forward. And let's see here. Inch forward. Advance. Hold there. General on the Torakitai. Extend out. Where is the phalanx going to go? Does it have to go all the way around? Might have to, but I think we're getting to the point where we're going to have time to be patient like that. Let's shift this phalanx over. So there's what, 6 Turiofros. We'll have to try to counter with 4 phalangites and cavalry. While we wait for everyone to show up, we should withdraw out of bow shot, so he has to at least turn or move before shooting us. Not bad though. The threat of skirmishers is mostly gone. It's down to 2 light cav and 3 on foot, which honestly we can absorb that ammo. Next turn. You're annoying. Let's prepare engagement. And shift out, and out again. Threaten these lights, shift over, and over. Good. This phalanx needs to push out here, ideally. Here, get them a little shove. Maybe you'll catch him. If we fall back here, then we can charge and just slaughter them. Problem solved. Well, one problem anyway. Good. Now we can start working on getting armored cavalry all the way behind. It should be a pain in the ass for them to deal with. shift over. So we'll get the phalanx all the way around, hopefully. He might just occupy this rough ground. We'll just have to work with that. Next turn. Okay, not bad. Yeah, so as expected, he's going to stretch over and seize that rough, but that'll still leave some gaps in the open, which, if we're patient, we should be able to exploit. It is going to require considerable patience, but I think, yeah, it's 15 turns left, we have plenty of time. Good. Keep marching. In fact, you take lead here. Join in. I'll let the infantry do it so we can maintain control of that light horse. Armor cavalry all the way around. Let's see, rough. Push to that open ground. Over. And maybe stay there, actually. Great, now shove them off. Don't you dare. Good. Then we can, that's looking kind of thin, isn't it? We'll need to cover it like so, that you don't have to come in and fill that gap. Then you can turn, you can general up, and we could just charge in, but I don't think it's necessary. We can just push in now, or wait a turn, push in, set up 2 flanks, and try to break down those units. Then, having taken this patch of rough, push on to the next patch. It's going to be very slow. Here, meanwhile, we want to just not lose total control. Slow down the attempt to get these lights behind us, maybe till we can get this unit to come over and assist. Flockavelli said, I dislike hiding in the rough like this. Do you think I had another option? I considered trying to go wide, but didn't think could buy enough time to flank the pikes. Yeah, I think you could have gone wide. Given how expensive these pike units are, it would have been a little bit risky, but I think if he'd both taken advantage of the rough and gone wide, there would have been a chance. Not that this is a foregone conclusion or anything, there's still some wiggle room, but it is looking a little bit ugly. Well, get that break. Good. Keep getting this cavalry way behind. Again, the lack of numbers is a bit concerning here. Do we fall back or just pile in? I don't think piling in is an especially wonderful idea. Shift you to the other flank. Help deal with this cavalry. Here, give him a little shove. Ooh. Tempting, but they'll just bounce off, so it doesn't really matter. Okay, next turn, we can charge, set up this flank, and cover the flankers as well. You're all in the way. forward a bit, shift around. Okay, that's going to have to be it for this turn. Next turn. Yeah, this cavalry is going to get picked to death, unfortunately. Great, start shifting over. Getting ready to shift over. Low ammo on those slingers, that's good. Shift this unit up. Lights begin to switch over to help deal with that. Though it's probably going to be too late for this unit. I could fall back, I suppose, but what's really the point of doing that? Well, it'll buy a bit of time. Okay, so now what we can do is cover here, and their flank is covered. Then we can... What if we actually piled on to engage here, then engaged here, then we threaten this flank. No. No. If I go here, he could charge. And then... Well, we'll try for that. How is this? It's not great, even with the extra 50. Yeah. Okay. Here, he's starting to loop around. Yeah, this is where our lack of numbers could really hurt us. Try for that, and then he's going to try to prevent the flanking, and then maybe we can get a real fight going. Next turn. Let's see what response I get to those flank threats. Setting up a flank threat in turn. Well done. Though, that should mean that we can fight in the open. Yeah. Interesting. Well, if we charge here and general up and charge here. I was hoping to set up a flank, but we were too successful. Then we can zone there and flank threat there. 3 units. I think that includes one that was in there. I think. Hope so. Okay. And then what we can hope to do here is smash break that unit before his buddy can set up. I want to move here so we can zone that unit without being charged by that unit and driven off. Great. And in the meantime, we can smash for the frag. How about it? But how about it? Oh, what a shame. What a shame. Okay, zone them in, that's fine. That means we're still going to get flanked here, which means we're probably going to need this unit to fill in. Okay. Then here, we have veterans, we can smash in. Good. And smash in. So if we push him back, then we can get flanked, so unfortunately we're going to have to cover instead of taking advantage of this flanking situation. Okay, continue bringing our own lights up to support. Here, what we can do is try to drive this unit. It's going to say off map, but that was wholly unsuccessful. There are reduced command and control. We can't go into squares. We need to keep covering that unit, at least for now. Great. And then this is unfortunately just an even matchup, which I'm not really a fan of doing. Especially when that kind of thing happens. Let's... is what it is. Abandon that unit to its fate. Just like that unit, this is not looking good. Losing all these mediums is very difficult. Could smash this unit in the open, but that invites all kinds of bad things. Then we have to wait on the flank and hope for the best elsewhere. Next turn. Yep, that's terrible. This is going to be terrible. We really can't afford to lose that many medium units. And here we are losing them. We'll be able to work with that. Frag and a pushback. Good thing we paid for that extra armor POA. Thanks. Hold back and hold firm. Interesting. Okay, good. Now the good stuff. Yep, that's why we did that move. Glad I did that. Disruption. And there's a cascade, maybe? No, not quite. Okay. You saw the danger approaching there. Good. So... let's fight that first. Hold firm, fall back. Okay. In that case... why don't we actually get stuck in there? Good. And there. Push in there. Fight this first. Fuck me. Really? Okay, that is a huge problem. need you to buzz around this flank. Prepare to fill that gap. Try for a charge. Nope. Okay, just plow in there. Disorder and all. Hopefully it gets finished quickly. I want you to square up so we can't charge here and then flank us. You are doomed. Waste some more time then, if nothing else. Get a break? Nope. You move here? Nope. Oh, there's no saving. There's no saving them. There is absolutely no saving them unless we luck out and stick this impact. Then, if we move here, we can zone them in. Great. You pile in. Now the bad things. So what he could do is charge and then... Nope, he'd have to charge with this unit first and then flank the next turn. So let's square up. Yeah. Alright. Well, what a mess. Next turn. Oh, please. Okay. Yeah, negates our impact, unfortunately. Good, that's something. Don't break, don't break, don't break. Great. Hold firm. Good. Okay. Do I have time to set up a flank on this unit? Or do I just need to smash in? Let's consider that. Damn, I'll lose that unit. Let's risk it. Great. Then set up a flank. Okay, what to do with you? Four units here to my 2. It's very difficult to move aggressively. I turn to threaten the flank, then he'll turn to threaten my flank, and then I march past, threaten these flanks instead. Okay. Good. You just need to hold. No. Okay. You stay away. Start trying to work this open space here. There. If I move this square here... No, that doesn't really matter, because then he can still... And that's rough ground anyway. I just don't have enough units. No, because then they can charge me from behind. Damn it. Square up. We need to wait until these units are distracted or somehow out of the way before we can act. Break a unit there. Lose a unit there. Hopefully not lose that unit. We'll see. Break, break. I don't know. It's hard to tell what's going to happen here. Next turn. Good, they held. They broke. Hold firm. Come on. Good. Even better. Okay, yeah, so he's doing that thing I thought he would do. Nice. Right, so let's see. You turn that way, and you turn that way, and then next turn, if possible, you can unsquare. Smash through this flank. Good. Same thing here, please. Let's see if we get pushback here. No. Damn. Do it anyway? That's still a cohesion check, but at least it's not an automatic drop. Out of the rough? Maybe out of the rough that way? You know what? Screw it. You'll be fine, right? Now you're in an awkward situation. Yeah, let's just get this whole sector out of trouble. Can you? Yes, do that. Try for a charge. Nice. Slow them down. Away. Oh yeah, this unit could be useful. And when we get you behind that unit. Okay, theoretically, that's game. Okay, and that's the end. There it is. So, this would have been bloody had it gone on. I mean, I'm not sure what's going to happen here. And this whole situation is very weird because we're just kind of short units. But that being said, these units back in action, this unit generaled up at least, and we're about to destroy these three. We were pretty safe. So this is kind of the couple things. The dangers of having your skirmishers out ahead of your main line, with your main line feeling the need to stay static in a defensible position because of the mismatch of mediums versus very heavies. I think a viable alternative would have been to spread out and use these patches of rough as cover. Anchor here, maybe anchor in this forest. Use skirmishers as a base from which to stay near Durioforoi, but try to score disruptions. And from there, then choose a weak point in my thinned out line, which would have gaps just because of the expense of these units, and then attack. Now, I don't know if that would have worked out. I mean, Durioforoi are very squishy, but there would have at least been a number of units advantage to work with. Just an idea. So, a good game to Vlacabelli, as always. And till next time.